For most pilots, your first solo is one of your most memorable, exciting, and nerve-wracking moments of your career, and that's no different for me. A lot of you might be wondering how exactly a 14-year-old is allowed to fly by himself. Well, that story starts about a year and a half ago. It was November of 2021, and I had just gone on my first ever Discovery flight. I had flown before on big commercial jets, but this feeling that I got from being able to control this marvelous machine wasn't like anything I had experienced before. After that first flight, I was completely hooked. Right away, I started to book more flights. First, it was just for some circuits to practice my takeoffs and landings. Then we started to practice airwork, and that's when I encountered the spin. The spin was my favorite maneuver. It felt like I was a fighter pilot. After 6 months, I completed what most pilots would call basic private pilot license training. I was in a bit of an interesting spot with my aviation career. It would still be more than a year until I would be able to solo, and I wasn't entirely sure where to go with my training. At first, I started training on new aircraft, like the Diamond DA-40. I also started doing longer and longer cross countries, going to far out places, but I still felt like I could do more. My instructor had once mentioned aerobatics and how it was a great way to become a more proficient pilot. I believed him, and I looked into it, and it turns out even at my young age, I could compete in an aerobatics tournament. I really wanted to compete in an aerobatics tournament. And it was really lucky for me because this year there was an aerobatic tournament being held in my home province of Manitoba. It was a long shot, but with enough training, I thought I just might be able to compete.
1, 2, 3, kick.
When first starting my journey to learning aerobatics, I had to get trained on a new airplane, because the Cessna 152 doesn't tend to do too well upside down. The airplane I ended up doing my aerobatic training in was the Citabria. The Citabria is a fabric aerobatic tailwheel aircraft, and it is one of my all-time favorite airplanes. I was really nervous about going into this aerobatic competition, even though I had been practicing for over 2 months going into it. There's still something very nerve-wracking about flying an airplane upside down for a panel of judges, especially when you're 13 years old. After the aerobatic tournament wrapped up, I ended up placing second overall in the primary category, directly behind my current instructor who helped me prepare for my solo flight. The day had finally arrived. After a year and a half, I could finally solo. It was so surreal. For any aspiring pilots watching, the main thing to take away from this is that even though you're really excited, you have to treat it like every other flight. Because if you let the nerves get the better of you, you can start to forget things. The key to a safe flight always starts on the ground. Checking the weather, doing a good pre-flight walk around.
Claire!
After all this waiting, all that was left was a quick check ride with a senior instructor, and then it was solo time.
Okay, 1800 RPM, good. Ammeter looks good. Oil pressure is good. Oil temperature is still rising steadily. That's good.
Echo Quebec, Quebec, contact tower 1185, holding short runway 13.
San Andrews Tower, this is Foxtrot Echo Quebec, Quebec, holding short of runway 13.
Echo Quebec, Quebec, tower wind 1807, clear touch and go runway 13.
Clear touching over 13, Echo Quebec, Quebec.
So, yep, just your radio calls and do one circuit.
Yep.
All right.
San Andrews ground, this is Citabria, Foxtrot Echo Quebec, Quebec. On apron 2 with information Alpha, we are for the circuit and run-up is complete.
Foxtrot Echo Quebec, Quebec, St. Andrews ground, runway 18, altimeter 29 or 9 or 5, taxi Bravo, hold short of apron 4.
Taxi Bravo, hold short of apron 4, Echo Quebec, Quebec.
Echo Quebec, Quebec, tower right-hand circuit on departure, wind 1807, clear for takeoff runway 18.
Clear for takeoff runway 18, right-hand circuit on departure, Echo Quebec, Quebec.
Echo Quebec, Quebec tower number 2, runway 18, follow caravan at 3 miles final.
Looking for traffic, Echo Quebec, Quebec.
Echo Quebec, Quebec tower, clear to land, runway 18.
Clear to land, runway 18, Echo Quebec, Quebec.